Let's go. 106.7 KROQ FM and HD1. Pasadena, Los Angeles. Orange County. Rock of the 80s HD2. The world famous KROQ.
Well, a very good morning to you. Here we are again at 6 a.m. Sunday morning. It's 106.7 KROQ, KROQ. Welcome to OpenLine. This is our show where we, try to make you a little bit smarter for the week. Take an hour out of the music. Just an hour. And we try to inform you. Say what's going on around the world, around the community, around your block. We'll let you join the show, too. Not all ours, it's yours. Toll free, 1-800-520-1067. That's the number that gets you through. It's the number that makes it work. So I'd love to hear from you and have an interesting conversation this morning as we do every Sunday morning. And then thank you for hanging out with us here this morning. I do appreciate it. Okay, Scott Mason here with you. Good morning. Dr. Linda Miles is my guest. Good morning.
Good morning. Nice
to see you. Always with doctors, what are all these letters after your name? What do they all stand for?
Well, the ones that are most important are the D.O.M, which stands for Doctor of Oriental Medicine.
Aha. Hey, there's so many initials. I mean, F-A-C-S, this, that. Every time a doctor comes in, it's got to explain the letters to me. I know you guys have your own little code, your own alphabet soup. It's very interesting. So, and you donate your time to an organization called MEND, Meet Each Need with Dignity, which is a nonprofit organization that helps relieve the effect of poverty through a holistic and humanitarian approach. That's a big bite.
It certainly is, but MEND is a full-service clinic facility in Pacoima, and it has the total array of services for people who are hard on their luck. They have health benefits, they have food, shelter, hot showers, all the things that you would need if you were homeless and living on the street or just having hard times and needing some food.
Well, you're talking about half the population of Pacoima. I mean,
Pretty much. I donate my time through my acupuncture and herbal services, but there's a great many volunteers there. There's MDs, there's dentists, chiropractors, you name it. So many people give of their time.
So do you normally practice with your own practice, or are you involved with an organization, hospital?
No, basically my full-time job is with my skincare company, which is my level of expertise that I believe we're going to talk about this morning. But this is my giving back, and I spend an afternoon a week doing that.
Well, you mentioned skin. Let's talk about it for a second. Is it like the largest organ that we have in our body? It's
absolutely
pretty important. Keeps everything there covered up.
Yeah, absolutely. People don't understand that. I'm surprised that you even mentioned that because it is the largest organ system in the body, which most people forget. And it's very responsible for some key functions. Thermoregulation, keeps you hot and cold. It prevents pathogens from entering your body, which is really important with the flesh-eating bacteria and MRSA and all those nasty things that are going around. We really need the skin to be as healthy in as good shape as possible. And finally, it's extremely responsible for waste removal, getting rid of the toxins in our system.
From sweating?
Exactly.
See, I was trying to learn something from these shows so I can go home like, okay, I went to school today. Yeah. I got paid for going to school, yeah. Wish I could have said that as a kid. But it's interesting because a lot of people, they learn, what do you learn in school about your body? Well, you learn, you have 10 fingers and 10 toes, and if you have a cut, there's something called a Band-Aid you put on it, and maybe a little bit more than that in some classes. But
and what you and I learned in school, because we're about the same age, is not what you really need to know. There's so much more that they have learned since we were in school. So, yeah, tons to know.
It's amazing. I mean, the more they come up with, the more hours they should spend teaching kids, but it goes the other way with the budget. There's less hours teaching kids, which is unfortunate because people need to know. Skincare itself is it's almost like a buzzword these days. Everywhere they're talking about skincare. You get up at 3, 4 in the morning, turn on the TV, all that you see is infomercials about skincare.
Well, and why is that? Because the baby boomers are getting older. They want to stay looking 20. Everybody is very concerned with keeping themselves as young and healthy looking as possible. So absolutely. I mean, Revlon said it best. I sell hope in a jar. So everybody is looking for the magic bullet to turn back the clock. So yes, skincare is a hot topic. Anti-aging is a huge hot topic.
But is there a silver bullet?
There is a silver bullet to a certain extent, okay? Basically, the aging process, whether it be in your body or on your skin, is due to these nasty little things called free radicals. And free radicals are a molecule that is either missing an electron or has an extra one. And to be happy, they either need to give it away or they need to grab one from somebody. And when they do that, they damage that somebody. So the answer to free radicals are things called antioxidants. And antioxidants either have an electron or will take an electron, and so they do what's called squelching free radical damage. And so by doing that, you stop the aging process, you stop the damage, and in many cases, you can correct the aging process with these magic bullets called antioxidants.
Wow.
Yeah.
Why don't we see more? Why don't we hear more about this? Why isn't it being told to us by our doctors more?
Doctors actually are starting to recommend it, particularly easy antioxidants like vitamin C. A lot of doctors now recommend vitamin C, but they recommend it more for the connective tissue issue, which in your skin is elastin collagen fibers. And we definitely need to keep them in good shape because they're the foundation to the skin. We both live in California. Most of our listeners live in California. So we all know about earthquakes, right? So if the foundation to the house is in good shape, then when that house rocks and rolls, you're not going to experience nearly as much damage. Well, if your collagen elastin fibers in your skin are in good shape, then when you smile or frown or twist your face up somehow, it's not going to stay that way. Our moms used to say, don't hold your face that way, it's going to stay that way. Yeah, it will over time if you're not careful. But if your elastin collagen fibers are in good shape, they supply the suppleness, they supply the foundation to the skin, they keep it smooth and wrinkle-free.
The process, I guess people would go see a dermatologist for this type of evaluation,
you go get good stuff over the counter. You just need to know. You need to know the integrity of the products you're buying. You need to know that they're being made with a good concentration of those active ingredients. And then here's the next obvious question, and I'm going to answer it for you. Why do we put it on topically? Why don't we just feed it into the bloodstream and let it go through our bodies and feed the skin from the inside out? That's a really nice thing to do, too, and we should be doing that for the rest of our structures in the body. But Dr. Lester Packer of the Packer Lab at UC Berkeley did a tremendous amount of research, and he showed that the skin prefers to be fed topically, that you get much better results if you put these vitamins, minerals, antioxidants on the skin topically rather than feed them through the bloodstream.
Wow. I mentioned the dermatologist's office only because the last few times I've been in a dermatologist's office, it's more like I'm walking into a high-end Save-On or something because everything's on display and you think to yourself, oh, man, I got a boil. And this guy, and I think I'm going to be trying to sell anti-aging cream here.
And it's true. The lines that the dermatologists have in their offices are basically good quality, high-end antioxidant lines. But if you're smart, you can find even better products at a natural product store or at a department store and occasionally at your local drugstore.
Well, you can, because you know what to look for. I'd be going, maybe this has a nice name, nice label. Ooh, I get, 42 ounces for the price of 24. When you don't know what you're looking for, it's really a crapshoot.
Well, again, you got to spend a little time getting educated. You're looking for good quality antioxidants, and you're looking for. I mean, there's such an array of them. There's two that I'm very familiar with that you will have never heard of. One of them's called Pycnogenol, which is a pine bark extract from the south of France. This antioxidant is 50 times more powerful than vitamin E and is hugely anti-inflammatory in that it stabilizes the capillary system in the skin. This is really important when you think about it for that under-eye puffiness and also for people who suffer from rosacea, because rosacea is no more than a capillary inflammation issue. So this particular ingredient is amazing for skincare.
Well, but is there a guide to that? Because, listen, you go out for dinner and you can look in the window and there's like an A through D. So you know what you're being served. But you go into the store to buy one of these and what did she say again?
You know what? My best advice is you go to a store where you trust the person who's the expert in that section and you say to them, hey, I want to get rid of my wrinkles. I either want to keep my wrinkles from happening or I've got sagging. Tell them what your skin issue is and let them help you. But you got to have somebody who's educated. If you don't want to do it yourself, you got to find somebody who's educated and who knows enough about the ingredients to guide you in the right direction.
Now, tell me about, I always hear about, oh my God, I'm getting lines. What are lines in your face?
Well, basically, again, it's part of that collagen elastin breakdown, but it's also just your skin suffering from that free radical damage. Again, that really is the basis to what we see as the aging process, whether it's those nice little brown spots, skin irregularities, fine lines and wrinkles, whatever. That's what you're seeing. The discoloration, like the little brown spots, liver spots, age spots, whatever you want to call those, is an accumulation of melanin. And there's a wide variety of, again, my expertise is natural ingredients, so that's the ones I know about. I'm not into Estee Lauder's ingredients. I'm not into Clinique's ingredients. Many of those are synthetic and made in a lab. So my expertise is the natural ingredients. So within the natural arena, you have alpha-arbutin and kojic acid, and now there's a whole nother ABC soup that works for your brown spots and for overall brightening of the complexion.
What are we talking about when it comes to cost? Seems to me like this might not be covered by insurance.
It probably isn't, but it's really not as expensive as you might think for a good quality skincare product that contains a certain amount of these skin lightening ingredients, brightening ingredients, plus a nice cocktail of antioxidants. You're in the $20 to $40 range, and that'll last you a good 60 days.
Oh, wow, okay.
So it's not that bad.
Yeah.
So, I mean, when you go to
$2.50 a week.
Yeah, it's not terrible. But if you go to if you're going to a department store, all of us know when you pay for a brand, you're paying for their marketing. So you're not necessarily paying for the effectiveness and quality of the formula. You're paying for the marketing.
You're paying for marketing, transportation, overhead.
The person standing in the kiosk making you feel good.
Right, packaging. the things you're paying for when you're at a large store, you go on, and maybe you get down to 1/10 goes to the product.
Exactly.
It's the way our society works,
Exactly. Though. We're all sold on the sizzle, not necessarily the steak.
Wow. What made you get into this field?
Well, kind of like you grew up in radio. I grew up in skincare accidentally. I was going to school, finishing my bachelor's at UCLA, and answered an ad for a part-time secretary and with a skincare company, and here I am today. Wow.
Kind of took everything and internalized it and made the most out of it.
I've always been interested in health and healing, and originally I was going to be a veterinarian. But, life happens, and the journey changed along the way, and I became involved with the skincare company, loved business, and have incorporated the two of them with my Doctor of Oriental Medicine, and able to do my healing with that and still be involved with the skincare company.
Let's talk about sunscreen. I don't know if it's directly related, indirectly related, but I know it goes on the skin, and I know it's supposed to be good for your skin, or at least protect you from bad things for your skin.
Correct. And the SPFs are highly misunderstood numbers these days. Okay, so what a sunscreen is supposed to do is it's supposed to provide an umbrella from the UVA and UVB rays. Okay, so they will not allow the rays to enter the skin. So you're wearing a giant umbrella when you put these guys on. The numbers are supposed to be directly related to how long you can be in the sun relative to not wearing anything. So if you have an SPF of 15, you're supposed to basically be able to be out in the sun 15 times as long before you burn, 30, et cetera, et cetera. There are now sunscreens on the market that are 50s, and in other countries there's hundreds.
What is that, like concrete?
Yeah, basically.
Yeah.
But the truth of the matter is, from my research and from my education, again, I have quite a bit of science behind me, I do not see any need for higher than about a 30. I don't believe that anything higher than a 30 is going to afford you that much more protection. But again, let's go back to what we're doing. The UVB rays affect the upper layers of the skin. The UVA rays actually penetrate down to where they do serious damage to the skin. What's that damage? Free radicals. Goes back to that same exact problem that we're causing free radical damage. So when you block it with a sunscreen, you're keeping your skin from being damaged. There is another solution, and if you do burn yourself, you should actually put on antioxidants immediately. You can actually just use an antioxidant by itself rather than an SPF. The problem with that is you have to reapply it really frequently. The SPFs are so much more convenient to use. Mm-hmm. And if you're gonna go out in the water, if you're going to the beach for the day, or you're going water skiing or something, golfing, and you're going to sweat a lot, you're going to want to use an SPF because most of them are developed so that they stay on the skin even with a little bit of water exposure. Now,
there are people who go out, go to the beach, lay in the sun, and want to get their body recolored. Tan, let's put it that way. I mean, you know what I'm talking about. How bad is that for the skin?
It actually is pretty bad for the skin. And the deal about sun exposure, it is the major form of damage to the skin. Sun is it. And the thing about it is it doesn't show up for years later. So when you're 20 and 30 and you're wearing that deep golden tan and you look fantastic, you're going to pay for that somewhere between 40 and 60. So there are no free lunches. So that's the deal. However, let me tell you one other thing. Again, as a holistic practitioner, there's certain things that I believe in. We need a half an hour to 45 minutes sun exposure every day to be healthy because it releases certain brain chemicals. You need your vitamin D, which there's now a vitamin D a shortage in this country. People are experiencing physical symptoms from not getting enough vitamin D, which you can take as a supplement. But all of that is super important for the sun exposure. Do I want you to go out and lay in the sun for 8 hours a day? No. Do I want you to go out in the middle of the day when you're going to have the most damage? No. You're going to want to go out between 8 and 10 and 2 to 4. But we holistic practitioners believe that you need a certain amount of sun every day to be healthy.
Oh, very interesting.
Now, I'll tell you one other thing. Those free radicals that we're talking about, people think, oh, sun, pollution, that's where these are coming from. No, our bodies make them. When you're stressed, the two stress hormones, cortisol and catecholamine, break down into free radicals. That's why stress is so damaging to the body. That's why long-term stress, you see chronic illness almost invariably. And then the other thing that causes free radicals that we don't think about is exercise. Exercise produces free radicals. Again, as a holistic practitioner, this country doesn't exercise enough. So do I want you to stop exercising? No, but I do want you to take an antioxidant.
Wow, you got to balance it all out.
Exactly.
I'm chatting with Dr. Linda Miles. She is a doctor of Oriental medicine, and you're listening to KROQ 106.7 KROQ. This is Open Line. Every Sunday morning we get together. We bring a guest in. We let you phone us at 520-1067. Write that number down. Feel free to use it. It's a good time to get your skin questions answered. All right, very good. I'm sure you've seen some interesting cases and done a lot of research because this is a fascinating topic, and it's a topic most people really care about. How much money is spent on cosmetics in this country to put a Band-Aid over the skin, to put a fake face on? It's funny.
It's billions of dollars. Yes, billions of dollars. Again, the baby boomers are getting older. Young people are becoming more educated. They realize they need to start protecting their skin. So, yes, it's a billion dollar industry.
Wow.
And there's so much. I would hate to use the word fraud out there, but really there's a lot of fraud out there. There's so many companies claiming things that are simply not true.
The fountain of youth.
Yeah, exactly.
Darn.
Turn back Father Time, please.
Oh, yeah. Oh, and yes. Try and do the impossible, get your baby face back. But how successful can you be? How much can you? Certainly, someone who's 90 can't look like they're 30.
No, absolutely not. And in fact, I always ascribe to Willie Nelson's remark that, lines should be where smiles have been. And that's really what we should be striving for, is that, as we age, that we look happy and healthy. So can we take somebody who's 90 years old and make them look 20? No, that's not reality. But you can take somebody who's 40, 50, or 60, and you can smooth out many of the fine lines and wrinkles.
I guess when you got to, before they go into it, you have to make sure they have a realistic expectation.
Correct. Nobody can, yes, go to a plastic surgeon, have a facelift if you really want to be smooth and wrinkle-free. But if you want to look healthy and look younger, then some of these over-the-counter remedies are practical.
Very interesting. We'll go to the phones. How's that? A couple of people calling in. Some good questions. And we'll go to Kristen, who lives in Anaheim Hills. Good morning.
Good morning.
What's your question or comment, Kristen?
I have a type of eczema on my right hand. It started 2.5 years ago. They call it dishydrosis. It's very blistery. Originally, they misdiagnosed it like 5 times, and I was told to see a holistic doctor about it and see if it was something they could give me a heads up on.
Okay, so any type of psoriasis or eczema is actually an internal problem with an external manifestation. And
Very much.
And you're going to find this hard to believe, but the problem stems in your gut. Okay.
No, I believe it. I can't find a doctor to help me with it. They just want to throw steroid cream after steroid cream.
Exactly.
It's a nightmare.
Yeah, I understand completely. So here's what my recommendation is, okay? So there's a book called The Cure for Psoriasis. You have to make a ton of lifestyle changes. It's not...
I did gluten-free. I tried gluten-free. It is not a gluten sensitivity.
Okay.
That's about all I've done big time, though. Okay,
but here's the other thing. The biggest problem is that you've got toxins in your gut. So the gluten-free thing is not going to be the whole answer. You need digestive enzymes and you need probiotics big time. But you should work with what's called a naturopath, which is a holistic doctor who practices homeopathy and herbs. Go to them or go to an acupuncturist. Okay, either one of those two alternative practitioners should be able to help you. However, as far as your hand goes, many natural companies make remedies for the topical application. There's certain ingredients like neem, burdock, vitamin A, in a blend of ingredients that you could probably find at Whole Foods that will treat psoriasis and eczema. So wander into your local health food store, ask them for something that contains those ingredients, because those will shut down the symptoms on the skin and make the skin try to heal up. But if you want to keep it gone, you need to deal with the inside issues.
Absolutely. Would you recommend not using the steroid creams anymore?
You're going to want to use the steroid creams until you start to get this healed up. I mean, you can switch to the natural creams. As soon as you do that, you don't need the steroid creams anymore. But, yeah, steroids long-term, even topically, have certain issues to them. So, yeah, get off them as soon as you can.
Very cool. Thank you so much.
You're very welcome. Good luck to you.
Thanks. Bye.
Thanks for your phone call. Let's move forward here. Got a few more calls on the rack. 1-800-520-1067. That is the number that Anthony from Glendale is calling us on. Good morning, Anthony. Crickets. Anthony? Okay, he was going to ask what argan oil is, but we'll...
Oh, Argan Oil.
Okay, we'll just go to the next call here. Now it would be David from Woodland Hills.
Yeah. If I've been told that my lines are from excessive dryness, what kind of natural ingredients are good for that?
Okay, that's a very good question. Many people do have fine lines and wrinkles just because they're dehydrated. And the best way to hydrate the skin is with an ingredient called hyaluronic acid. It's nature's moisture magnet holding 1,000 times its weight in water. And by applying this particular ingredient to the skin, you plump the skin cells, smoothing out those fine lines and wrinkles. So this is another great way of dealing with anti-aging through a hydration process.
Okay, very good. Thank you.
Well, thanks for your phone call. Appreciate it. A lot of people, it's funny because this is a topic that certainly involves everybody. And you see, some people are more, care more about it than others. It's crazy because you go into a department store and you'll see it's very, very obvious that the cosmetic counters and counters selling this type of things are always very, very busy. But as you said earlier, it's a matter of picking the right product because there are a lot of shysters out there. There are
a lot of marketing.
A lot of marketing. A lot of, especially if you don't sleep very well and you get up in the middle of the night and you turn on some of these channels and they get these program length commercials going on.
And the internet. The internet isn't monitored very well. And my goodness, the amount of products that's on the internet that I would find questionable is just astonishing.
Wow. You got to really police yourself these days.
You got to have some education.
We'll try David again. Actually, we'll try Anthony again. Anthony from Glendale, are you with us?
Yep. Mason Scott Mason. How are you doing?
Yes, sir, buddy boy. We're still here. Amazingly, we passed the 70s and made it here.
It was a great time.
Yes, we've landed here somehow. So, you have a question for the doctor this morning?
Yes, about argan oil. I wanted to hear her thoughts about it. I know she recognized it earlier. I'm sorry that the call was dropped previously.
Okay, argan oil is also known as Moroccan oil, and that's pretty much where it's coming from is Africa, and it is a very substantial antioxidant. The whole thing about antioxidants that's really hard to get a good handle on is the strength of each one of them. Not all of them are measured, and there's a specific rating system for antioxidants within sort of a general consumer type of standard. We kind of use vitamin E as the base antioxidant and then pretty much compare everybody to that. So I had mentioned Pycnogenol earlier being 50 times more powerful than vitamin E. I believe that argan oil is about 20 times more powerful than vitamin E. So it's a very substantial antioxidant. It's very popular right now. So, and it's used quite a bit for hair care as well as skin care.
Okay. And I've heard even you can ingest it like olive oil, I suppose. I don't know what your thoughts are about that. Well, you said topically is still probably the ideal for skin care. Yeah,
if you're trying to deal with skin care issues, definitely topically. Many of these antioxidants can be ingested internally. Pycnogenol is available in supplement form, but as I mentioned earlier, it's pretty much been shown that the skin prefers to have its nutrients delivered topically.
Okay. Well, so it isn't just hype. There is some validity to it. But you said the pine oil is a little bit better, or much better.
And I mean, if you're really looking for a strong antioxidant, there's one called astaxanthin, which is a marine plant or an algae off the coast of Hawaii that's harvested. Astaxanthin. It's the orange pigment that makes salmon and flamingos orange because they eat these little algae, and that's what actually turns the flesh of the salmon orange and the flamingos pink. So the raw ingredient is pink. So if you buy a skincare product with it, pink-orange, you'll see an orange-colored product. But that particular antioxidant is 500 times more powerful than vitamin E.
And will turn him pink?
No, not at all.
My goodness.
Yeah, but if you get a good quality astaxanthin product, it better be slightly orange or it doesn't have astaxanthin. That's kind of a cool way for a layman to know if the product actually has some concentration, because astaxanthin better be orange. Pycnogenol is a rust brown powder. So if you're going to buy a pycnogenol product, it better be slightly brown, or again, there's nothing in there.
Okay. Well, thanks so much. What an amazing amount of information.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I'm an overload. Thanks for the phone call.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Now. It is an amazing amount of information. I am trying to take as much of it as possible. You mentioned something earlier I honed in on. One of the products you mentioned was also good for the hair. And when you say that, I mean, that's one of the biggest problems in America. You really see the infomercials on hair loss and hair thinning and, hair going gray, et cetera, et cetera. And as American people, that's something that we're stuck on that. It's a big deal for us.
Well,
it's not going to kill us or anything, but it's something
we
that's
like
really
to have
big
nice
to us.
looking hair. Exactly. Yeah. The Argan Oil is used as a scalp conditioner, but also to make the hair shiny. So it's used a lot in ethnic products. Okay. So if you really want to work on the scalp, there's a whole different array of products that are good for scalp health, which is really the basis to making hair grow better. Hair care is not my expertise. I know some of the ingredients, but it's not, biotin is a wonderful ingredient for the scalp. There's a new anti-inflammatory ingredient called anthrimide, which is an oat derivative. It is cutting edge. You will not find it in hardly any products, but it is an extremely good anti-inflammatory. Again, now, for me, I'm pretty much, my expertise is in problems. And so I know about ingredients that are good for dandruff and for seborrheic eczema in the scalp and stuff like that. So again, I can tell you those ingredients for just having beautiful hair, you probably want to have somebody from Pantene on or somebody like that.
Yeah, right. Right. But that's, it is such a big deal in our society. So the aging, you can't really stop that aging process, though. If you're going to be losing your hair, is there anything to turn that around?
Depending upon why you're having the hair loss.
It's Rogaine, obviously, everyone's heard of.
Sure, and that's a chemical drug type thing. Again, my expertise is natural. So one of the big reasons for hair loss is overproduction of sebum and blocking the hair follicles itself. That can be alleviated with something called jojoba oil. And back in the 70s and early 80s, you saw a tremendous amount of hair care products with jojoba in
I've
it.
actually heard of the jojoba oil.
Yeah, for exactly that reason. It helps dissolve the sebum and removes the little plug that's actually blocking the hair growth.
Interesting. All right, how about some more phone calls? We got a big old rack of them here. People want to talk to you. And we are talking with Dr. Linda Miles this morning about skincare. And on my telephone would be Mr. Tony from El Monte. Hello, Tony. Was on my telephone. This happens a lot on Sunday morning. People end up falling back asleep while they're holding on. How about when we go to Moore Park and talk to Jill? Hi
Good
there.
morning.
Hi. How are you?
Good. I'm good, but I'm getting older. I'm one of those baby boomers.
You too, huh?
I know. And as I'm getting older, my skin during the summer months gets blotchy and dark spots, and it's pretty uneven, and I really can't cover it up. Would this Pycnogenol work on that?
The Pycnogenol will work on it from the standpoint of optimizing the health of the skin. Any of these antioxidants that I've spoken about will optimize the health of the skin. What does that mean for the aging process? It means that it will diminish some of the fine lines and wrinkles. It'll help even out the skin tone. It'll help with the collagen elastin fibers to prevent sagging, etc. But for your specific condition, there's much better formulas and products. You're going to want to look for a product that specifically targets that dark spots, blotchiness, and you want to lighten the complexion. So you're going to look for a skin lightening type product or something that's going to even out the skin tone. So look for things that have alpha-arbutin. Look for niacinamide. Niacinamide is a vitamin B3. Absolutely, hands down, one of the most winning ingredients for not only stimulating collagen elastin production and health, but also for lightening the skin. You have a combination of licorice, good old licorice, milk thistle, and vitamin C that lighten up the skin as well. So look, again, my expertise is natural. You can go to a department store, you can go to the drugstore, you're going to find other types of products, but from a natural perspective, these ingredients will do this. It will take you 28 days. A skin cycle is 28 days. Every 28 days, we have brand new skin. Obviously, it doesn't all fall off on the 28th day. It's a gradual process, right?
You're the snake.
Yeah, exactly. We don't shed it all at once. But so it takes at least one skincare cycle for the that's called melanogenesis, when you get the splotchiness and you get the brown spots, for that to sort of be evened out. But a lot of these ingredients are showing extremely good clinicals at 8 weeks. So you're going to get a lot of good results at 4 weeks, but you'll get fantastic results at 8 weeks. So be patient. That's one thing about natural ingredients. They may take a little bit longer than either drugs or some of the chemically derived ingredients.
Great.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye. You're saying you can't really pick these up in the, five and dime, Woolworths, CVS, whatever store. Where do you pick up these things? How do you get the education?
You're actually wrong. CVS, Walgreens, all of the big stores now have a natural section. Okay? So you have to find them. Not all the stores have them, but a lot of the drugstores now and grocery stores are recognizing that natural is important, that people are looking for alternatives to the mass market brands.
But do you know what you're looking for there? You think
well,
you
that's the problem.
You go to the pharmacist and ask and get a good answer?
No, that's the problem. With the drugstores and the mass stores, you're not going to get the help. So you want to wander into Sprouts, you want to wander into Whole Foods, you want to wander into your local health food store where their whole reason for being is because they have people in the sections that are educated enough to help you.
Now, you have a website. What is it and what's on it?
Oh, our website is www.dermae.com, and you can find tons of literature about these natural ingredients. There's also, obviously, there's a health or a skin evaluation that you can do that'll direct you, obviously, to my products, but you could figure out what type of products you need, and if you choose not to use Derma E, you could at least know, what kind of products you're looking for. But there's a very good library of natural ingredients and excellent information about skincare in general.
What about itching, as an example? That's a skin issue. Is that caused by something, or is that more...
You got a lot of reasons for itching.
Really?
Yeah, it's a multifaceted problem. But one of the big reasons for itching, in fact, itching is one of the major reasons people go to a dermatologist, believe it or not. And what most of the time the reason is the skin's dehydrated. Okay? So for itching in general, there's a lot of different ingredients that would take care of that. My favorite one to recommend is something called tea tree. Tea tree is antifungal, antibacterial, and it's anesthetic. So if your itching is due to some sort of fungus or bacterial thing, this is going to take care of it, as well as the anesthetic's going to stop the itch. There's a condition called idiopathic dermatitis, which simply means that you've got a itchy, weird patch of something on your skin that the doctors can't tell you why you got it. That's what idiopathic means. Whenever a doctor tells you have an idiopathic condition, it simply means they don't know why you have it, but put that in front of a nice fancy word and now you have a condition, right?
And we'll take your copayment anyway.
Exactly, exactly. So idiopathic dermatitis, if you were to go to go pick up a product with tea tree in it, a cream or a lotion or something like that, 90% of the time you can get rid of any itching condition, and 90% of the time you're going to get rid of idiopathic dermatitis. Fantastic ingredient. From Australia, very high standard. You can cure ringworm with it, athlete's feet. It is the natural alternative to antifungal preparations.
Wow, you got a lot of information.
Too much, probably.
You make a lot of money doing an infomercial with you. I mean, because the interest is so strong because it affects us all. It's very interesting. All right, phones are burning up, so I want to try and get some of these phone calls on the air. We'll go here with not that one.
Dial tone?
Yeah, we'll go here with Greg from Glendale. Hello. Greg, you there? Okay. Brian from Sherman Oaks sounds like he's there. I hear all sorts of noise at the other end.
Yeah, sorry, I'm in my truck right now. Thank you for taking my call. Thanks, doctor. My question is, do you have any recommendations for a natural product for scar tissue to kind of reduce the scarring over time?
Ooh, I do. There's a combination of allantoin, panthenol, and allicin. And those ingredients are absolutely fantastic for scars because here's a very odd thing, and we have a hard time understanding this in our Western linear mindset. Works for me from a Chinese perspective, no problem because of the yin and yang. But allantoin and panthenol are keratolytic. They break down scar tissue, and at the same time, they enhance natural tissue growth. So by using this product, you will see like keloids and nasty scars diminish within 2 to 6 months so that they blend in with the surrounding tissues. And again, I can only tell you that you could go to the website, you can look under a product called Scar Gel. Again, you could go anywhere else and look for any other product that contains these ingredients. But on the DERMA website, if you go to the Scar Gel, there's a photo of someone who has 22 stitches in their forehead, and there's an after photo that shows the scars completely gone. That actually happened to be me after I tripped over my Rottweiler in the dark and hit myself on a counter in the hallway and opened my skin to the skull. So you can see how well this product works. It's a fantastic product.
I hope not too many people are eating breakfast right now.
Sorry, for me that's normal talking, so I'm sorry.
Well, thank you very much, Scar Gel. I'll look it up.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks. And that website is DERMAE, www.DERMAE.com. Very good. Okay, let's see. Anybody left on the rack? Yeah, we actually do. We'll go talk to Cynthia from Fullerton. Hello. Hi, Cynthia.
Yeah, hi.
Hi there. Good morning. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for calling. What was your question this morning?
Yeah, hi. I have a question about usually during the summertime, I get some kind of like white spots when I'm out in the sun, and I'm a dark-skinned person. So I was wondering what I could use to treat that, because sometimes it itches, sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes they're lighter, sometimes they're not as light. Is there anything you would recommend for that?
Let me ask you this. You say they actually go away in the wintertime, or when you're not out in the sun, these white spots actually go away?
Yeah, they go away. They come out mostly during the summer, and they get itchy.
That's very interesting. The only condition that I know that you actually have like a loss of pigmentation in the skin, which would be the white spots, would be a condition called vitiligo, and the pigment doesn't come back. So whatever you're describing is some sort of obviously reaction to the sun. I would think that you are probably experiencing some level of sun damage. I would highly encourage you to either use some really good antioxidants or SPFs before you go in the sun, because I'm guessing that you're lucky at the moment that the pigment's coming back, but that someday that's not going to happen. So you're going to want to try to take care of the skin now so that you don't keep those white spots permanently.
Okay.
Good call.
Okay,
thank you.
you.
Bye-bye now. Let's talk for one moment about allergies in the skin.
Allergies in the skin. Boy, that's another huge topic. You have gluten sensitivities, which is huge right now. People are realizing how much they're allergic to wheat, oats, things that contain gluten. That affects a wide variety of the body, the gut predominantly, but as I mentioned before, when the gut's unhappy, a lot of times you'll see skin conditions. So allergies on the skin usually show up as hives or reddening or blotchiness, and uncomfortable. The skin will be uncomfortable. So how do we deal with that? You deal with it, again, with some sort of soothing cream. The tea tree cream or tea tree would be a good ingredient to use. Chamomile. If you just take chamomile tea bags and brew up a tea and then take like a cotton pad, soak it, and put it on a specific area, that should calm the allergies.
Wow, that's inexpensive too.
Yeah, very inexpensive.
There's some definite home remedies here.
Yeah, you could soak in a bathtub full of oats. That is huge for reducing allergies on the skin. Oats are very highly anti-inflammatory. So there's a lot of easy things you can do rather than go to the doctor and get the steroids. But ultimately, depending upon how severe the condition is, go see your doctor. That's the bottom line. Then you may need steroids.
But when you say go see your doctor, what type of specialist should you be seeing, or a general?
Most of the time, a family practitioner can look at your skin condition and say, you know what, you need some steroids. They'll give you a cortisone cream. If you're super, super messed up, then they're going to give you a prednisone internally. So it just depends. It depends upon the level, and it depends upon how much effort you want to put into it.
Very interesting. You see commercials these days, cure psoriasis, come for our 30-day trial, and we'll pay for everything, and ... I always get real questionable about those kind of things.
Yeah, the thing is, again, from my training and from my experience, that is a problem internally. I'm not sure that those 30-day people are trying to do that. I think they're trying to cure it topically. Now, I have had people send me testimonials on our psoriasis eczema products and tell me that they were cured with it.
Wow.
Again, holistic practitioner. The biggest asset you have to healing is your mind. So if you believe you can be cured, you can be cured. At that point, you could rub Vaseline on your skin. So the mind is huge. So really, that's really what's going on.
It's interesting. It sounds to me like you can do it reasonably, too, because skincare, as we talked about very early in the show, is a big dollar business when it comes to the P&Gs of the world, et cetera, et cetera. Very big. Okay, a couple more calls. And you're listening to Open Line. It's 106.7 KROQ, KROQ. Dr. Linda Miles is my guest. We are taking phone calls. 1-800-520-1067. Let's see if we get a person or a dial tone. Spin the wheel. Carrie from Thousand Oaks. Hello. Are you there? Okay, maybe not. How about Greg?
Yes, hi.
From Glendale.
Yeah, a little technology thing. Hey, Dr. Miles, maybe two questions, but one is, do they test these products on animals to see if they're effective before they start selling them?
No, most of the time the products, the actual ingredients are tested, and many times they're tested in, let's see, I'm going to say it wrong, in vitro, which means they test it on a culture of skin cells rather than on an actual animal. The big companies are forced to do the allergy testing on a lot of products. Those are animal tested products. So, but within a lot of the smaller skincare companies, we're not forced to do that. So it's not done that way. So most of the time when you're purchasing natural, if you wander into a natural product store, 99.9% of the products in that store is not animal tested.
How do you decide that a certain plant might be effective and it's worth testing? Because there's thousands of plants in the world. How do you know that pine bark, for example, might be effective when many others probably aren't?
That's a good question, but we rely on the experts out there. We've talked before about what a $1 billion industry this is. The suppliers of cosmetic ingredients are well aware of the dollars that are out there to be made, and so they are the ones that are canvassing the ends of the earth to find these cool ingredients that are beneficial. And then we, as a company, and I am actually one of the formulators, I will look at the clinical research that's being done to determine that, yes, indeed, this is effective, or no, it's not effective. So if an ingredient does not have good clinicals behind it, I personally will not use it. I'm also a member of the Society of Cosmetic Chemists, and so because of that, I probably get 5 to 10 new ingredient memos a day from ingredient companies wanting me to look at their new and greatest ingredient. Of those, there's maybe only one that's natural. There's a really good company out of South America called Baraka, and they have a huge dossier of really, really good ingredients that are coming out of the Amazon rainforest. They're completely sustainable. They're all fair trade. And so, yeah, there's really an unlimited supply of very, very good natural ingredients with good clinical research behind them.
Excellent call. Thank you so much. We're getting some really good questions here this morning. Let's move on and chat with Robert from Culver City. You with us, Robert?
Yeah, thank you.
Good.
Anyways, I was in a skateboard accident, and I was knocked unconscious, and I had my scalp was ripped open, and when I was in the hospital, I've had injuries before, and they usually shave it, clean it real good, put stitches in it, and this time they didn't do anything. So now I have a problem with, it took forever to heal, but I mean, I've got like the hair that's growing under the skin. And is there anything that would be good to use on that?
So you're talking about ingrown hair that's actually growing under the skin?
Yeah, from when I cut, my head was sliced open I got the skateboard accident.
Okay, do you have a big keloid there, too, where that happened?
Well, what's that?
A keloid is a big, lumpy, bumpy scar, and it would be forcing part of the skin, like, underneath the scar tissue, so that hair would be growing there. Is that what's going on?
That's what I've got, yeah.
Okay, so my recommendation for that would be a twofold thing. You're going to want to physically exfoliate that area to try to diminish some of the scar tissue with physical removal, which means you're going to be using like a scrub.
Ow.
Yeah, okay. Not hard, gently. And then try that scar gel product or something similar to that scar gel product to diminish the scar tissue. And to be quite honest with you, that's a really tough one, and you might want to go see a dermatologist for that.
Okay. Because I was sure one day, as a rule, they always, shave it and, clean it up and stitch it. They just left it alone. But I tried cutting it short. I'm going to have to shave it all together because I tried cutting it shorter, and it helped a little bit, but
yeah,
it's right in the top of my head.
For now, I would definitely shave it. I would do this for 2 to 3 weeks, and then I would go see a dermatologist. I would scrub it morning and night, gently. You're not trying to use sandpaper to take this off, but scrub it and then apply the scar gel and see if you cannot start to diminish the scar tissue enough that the hair follicles go back to where they're supposed to be.
Good luck, my friend. Ouch.
Thank you very much.
Good luck.
You're welcome. Good luck.
Bye-bye now. All right. Do we have Denise from Chatsworth on the line with us this morning?
Hello.
Hi.
Hi. I have a question. I've had these red, almost like a rash on my arms and my legs, for as long as I can remember. And my boyfriend has them too, so I think it's pretty common. But I'm not sure if it's irritation or what. It doesn't really itch, but if I scratch it, sometimes the bumps will open up and little hard white stuff comes out. I don't know what it is.
Okay, and this is predominantly on the back of the upper arm, correct?
Correct, yeah.
Okay, we call them chicken bumps. So,
okay.
Anyway, here's the easy way to get rid of them. Okay, so you're going to want to scrub them. Mm-hmm. Again, I would try to do it at least once a day with a good scrub. Do not, when I say scrub, this does not mean take off 10 layers of skin. This means gently scrub with a good quality scrub, okay? And then after that, apply a very soothing anti-inflammatory type cream. There's a tea tree oregano cream that has great antibacterial qualities. I've had a number of people tell me that just using that cream alone has gotten rid of their chicken bumps. But the scrubbing first will facilitate that. They should be gone in 10 days.
Wow.
Thank you.
Give it a shot. Thanks for the call.
You.
Okay, bye-bye.
Bye.
And while we still have a little bit of time here, we'll go to Woodland Hills. Angela, you on the line?
Yeah, I'm here.
Good.
Off speaker there. Okay, hi.
Hi, what's your question or comment?
Okay, my comment is it normal for a 40, well, let's say I'm 48 now, to have shingles twice in the same year?
Ooh,
and
that's painful.
The second time to have them around my back of my neck, coming down my shoulder and the front side, and it's like it's lasting. I'm in my 4th month now, and say 4 to 6 months. Is that
okay?
Normal?
This is truly a medical question, okay? So I'm going to give you my advice, and then I'm going to tell you to go see your doctor, okay? But normally a person does not get shingles that often. What that means is that your immune system is severely compromised. You know that shingles is simply adult chickenpox. So your chickenpox virus that you have is highly active, which means your immune system is not functioning correctly. So you have a couple choices. You can go on a detox program and boost your immune system and see if you cannot, in the next couple weeks, get rid of your shingles, or you can go see your doctor and get the steroids. And there's also a either they give it to you orally or injection. I can't remember, but there's actually a drug that they can give you to try to shut down the expression of the virus. So you might want to try that if you've had it that long. I don't know how, what your communication is with your doctor, but I highly recommend you speak to them. But your immune system is severely compromised. Get on all the immune boosters you can.
Wow.
Vitamin C, 5 grams a day. That's huge.
5 grams.
5 grams.
Not milligrams.
Not milligrams. You're going to start out with 1 gram because if you take it all at one time, you're going to get diarrhea. Again, hopefully nobody's eating breakfast. But anyway, build up over 5 days. 1 gram first day, up to 5 grams, and then stay on the 5 grams for 2 weeks and see if, plus other immune boosters. That's not the only thing you need to do. When you've got something like this going on, you really need to hit it hard. Okay? Good luck.
Thank you so much.
Bye-bye.
Okay, bye-bye.
Wow. We've given out a lot of advice today, which is really good. People want to know. I've been chatting with Dr. Linda Miles. If you want to hear more about this, want to find out more information, you can go to our website, www.dermae.com. And a lot of the things that went right over your head today will probably be explained a lot better than if you went over mine, I'll tell you that. Especially them chemical names or non-chemical names or the natural names. But
unfamiliar names.
There you go. But sounds great. If this stuff works, then, happy days. So thank you so much for coming in. Anything that we missed or you wanted to say in closing?
No, but I do want everybody to remember the one thing I said earlier is, there's no way to completely turn back Father Time, but at least keep those lines and wrinkles where smiles should have been and look as healthy and happy as you can. Right.
And when you really need it, don't put off seeing a doctor. A lot of people will, figure they'll try have a real emergency medical condition and then not see the doctor. You got to know, this requires a little bit of common sense. The thing that's not learned in school, but is the most valuable thing you can take out of your childhood. So common sense. If something's really bad, you might want to think about that doctor. Thank you again. I appreciate you coming in.
Thank you so much for having me.